Congratulations, you guys were so fantastic, and this is so much fun. And you know, you sit with someone like Guillermo del Toro, he tells you what he's envisioning and what's going to happen. But did you guys ever imagine when you walked on that set what the hell you were in for?
I think the physical aspect of it, I hadn't anticipated being quite as brutal as it ended up being.
Right.
The piloting of these giant war machines was pretty brutal. You know, we had to. It's funny. It's like filmmaking. You come up with this concept that they're going to be a huge war machine robot, and it's going to be piloted by a human being. And then you have to design the apparatus that would support that notion. And what they came up with was ostensibly an elliptical machine or a cross trainer that we would be strapped into while we're wearing our suit of armor, which is 30 pounds, and we would be on this elliptical doing these sequences, throwing punches, and doing this cross trainer for an average shooting day is 14 hours to 16 hours. So we would be doing this 14 to 16 hours a day, and in my case for 27 days. And so I
Piece of cake. What are you talking about? Piece of
yeah,
cake.
right? What am I complaining about? So yeah, I had anticipated it being difficult, but not quite as difficult as it turned out to be.
How about for you, Idris? I mean, my goodness.
I mean, I had moments where, I was less than his, but, doing the con pod was definitely physically demanding. However, though, for 6 weeks prior to the film, we were sort of training, and I looked at myself one day as I was lifting a tire across Manhattan Beach thinking, hold on a minute, what is this movie about? I thought the robots did all the work, but but then, as well as all of the, sort of physical stuff, there's this, massive acting piece.
Yes.
Real emotion that sits in the middle of this film, and Guillermo doesn't want you to, sort of phone it in because it's a big green screen type movie. We were in the midst of real discussions and really searching the truth. Here's a human race at the end of their days. We are the resistance. You know what I mean? What does it feel like? That was actually a good challenge for us.
I can imagine. Yeah, there's just so much going on, and of course Guillermo is just the master. I was telling him every time I talk to him, he's like a kid in a candy store. He feels like he's getting younger and younger as opposed to getting older. He's just amazing.
Yeah,
why is he so good at this kind of stuff?
Because he lives it. He loves. This is the world in his mind that he resides in all the time. There's nobody out there, and I mean really nobody, that I think is more qualified and has more passion and integrity in making a film like this than Guillermo, because he goes to bed thinking about monsters at night and gets up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and sketches down like an idea for Monster Head that he has. I mean, This is what he loves, and that's what you want in a filmmaker. It takes a tremendous amount of time and energy to create a film like this. So you want somebody who's so passionate about it that's going to live it and breathe it the whole way.
Yeah, how was your experience with him?
Oh man, I think what was, the script, you read a script, it's like 110 pages of what we're going to film. You look at the script, it was dense. You imagine what it feels like to try and write down what that scale must look like. And I remember thinking, wow, I wonder how he's going to achieve this. Let's see. And here he was in Toronto, on 5 different stages, was this huge world being built together piece by piece. He was incredibly detailed, which is amazing for the sort of, your imagination is so vast, but he's very, very detailed, from the way my character walks, talks, and moves to how many muscle strands are in each robot's arms. I mean, that's pretty out there.
Yeah. Did it shock you when you saw the final product? I mean, I don't even know how you guys envision it when you're doing it, and you've got this green screen and all this stuff, but then you see it.
It didn't really shock me because I anticipated it and I'd been through the process and seeing him designing all of this stuff and putting it together, but it just filled me with excitement and pride. It's an exciting thing to be part of such an epic piece of filmmaking.
Oh, yeah.
I walked out and was like, this is a slice of Hollywood. This is what it's all about.
It's like being in a Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? It's like that feeling, like, whoa, look at
nothing
us.
cooler than that, that's
right.
for sure. Okay, so this film is about having co-pilots, about drifters, somebody that you want to share your mind, you got to connect with. So Charlie, start with you. Who in real life would be your co-pilot?
I would have to say my big brother. You know, it's this. There's a theme in the film about, you know, the co-pilots being someone you have to be able to completely trust, but be compatible with, and really be able to anticipate what they're going to do in a situation. But also somebody that you know is going to have your back. And my big bro's been having my back since day one. So
He's the guy. How about you?
I think it might be my agent. My agent. We've been kicking down doors for about a good 20 years, so I think he'll be my co-pilot.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Rinko said she wanted to do it with Guillermo.
Whoa.
I don't know if I'd want to share my brain with Guillermo.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know what you'd be drifting. Yeah, that'd be odd.
right. That
And
would
he
be
wanted
right.
Stephen King.
Ah, that's a good one.
Guillermo said Stephen King.
That's a really good one, actually.
That's a good one. Yeah, that
Can you
is.
imagine
a
if
good
the two of those guys teamed up?
No,
Wow.
no thanks. I'm all right.
I have to address, coming up next, we're going to see you as Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
What an honor it must have been for you to play a man like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Incredible honor, and I'm very thankful for it. Absolutely. I can't wait to show the world the film.
Did you get to meet him? Or
No, I didn't get to meet him.
so what kind of legacy do you think that man's going to leave?
I mean, he has a legacy that remains to this day. That is, you know, he's one of the our modern day saints. You know, modern day. You know, in our generation. You know, it's only one of him.
Can't wait to see that. Sons of Anarchy. Is it now a thing that you have to have a movie or do stuff with Ron Perlman all the time?
That's right. It's in my contract. It's in my contract. I must always be no further than half a mile from Ron Perlman at all
At
times.
all times.
He's great. I mean, what a funny. It's just the way it's fallen. I mean, we did Frankie Go Boom together, and that was my doing because, you know, I got this. I decided to do this tiny little movie as, you know, kind of a fun experiment. And there was a role for a transsexual who falls madly in love with me. So I immediately thought of Ron Perlman, and you
Didn't
know.
think of me.
And
No, I wouldn't think of you either.
So, but yeah, it's been really wonderful. You know, I mean, I've done over 100 hours of TV and now 2 movies with them. So
I want to ask you, because you're both TV vets, is it more fun doing TV or do you like the challenge of film better?
I like them both, you know. They're very different in the sense that, you know, film is a longer, more detailed process. Not detailed, but, you know, just takes more time. It's faster, it's bigger. You know, television, you know, you've kind of got to hit the emotion very quickly. You know, you've got to be a little bit more disciplined, I think. Do you think?
yeah, definitely. You have to show up knowing, doing your homework. There's no kind of showing up and discovering it on set. You
Right.
better show up and know what you plan to do in the scene because you're only going to get 2, maybe 3 takes to do it. I really love the rapid pace of television because I feel like I'm in it and living it. You know, I shoot an episode of Sons of Anarchy in 7 days, and so I go through that journey with Jax basically in real time. You know, and you know, and film has, you know, other challenges. You know, it's a challenge to keep a, you know, continuity of a character going over the course of 105 days, like we did in this film. But then, of course, there's not as much compromise in film. You know, there's a lot of compromise working so quickly as you do in TV. So they both have their pluses and their minuses, and you know, I think we're both just very fortunate that we get to do them both.
Yeah.
You guys are both amazing in everything that you do. I'm such
Thank
a big
you.
fan, and
Oh,
this is
thank you.
just out of control. It's Godzilla versus Transformer on speed. Don't you think? It's just fantastic. You both did a
Absolutely.
fantastic job.
Oh,
Great to
thank
talk
you
to you.
very
Come back to
much.
Toronto, guys, anytime.